Welcome back to Dust and Elysian Tale.
Hi. So, do you know what we didn't solve last video?
No, what?
We didn't solve the aura presence he felt, and we didn't solve if the Minotaur's white thingy was his teeth or nose.
I'm convinced it was his nose, but I'm gonna freeze frame it later after we're done with this.
But one mystery we will solve in this video is who Dust is, right?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, finally.
This house.
Do you remember something, Dust?
This isn't possible.
Dust,
How?
do you see now?
But how, Aura? I don't understand.
The answers lie above, Dust.
Like one floor up.
Ginger. She was sleeping right here. On the night I came to say goodbye. But I hesitated. I didn't want to wake her. Didn't want her to worry about me. She couldn't know what I was about to do.
Dust, what are you saying?
She couldn't know that I was about to go avenge our parents.
You mean you're... But how? What's going on here?
I remember now. But how? How can I have helped destroy this village, but be a victim of that same act? That's impossible.
Only impossible for a creature with a single soul.
Ginger.
Those eyes. I know those eyes.
So, Mithrarin, you finally see the truth.
Okay, so a lot gets dropped here, dropped on the player right here. Essentially, Dust is what is called a Mithrarin, a person born of two souls. And the two souls in question are the royal assassin Cassius and Jin, the brother of Ginger.
What?
However, to suit our needs, we required two souls. The soul of innocence is a noble thing, but without skill, without power, Dust would have been struck down just as easily as your brother was on that fated day.
No.
So we combined your brother's soul with that of his murderer, the royal assassin known as Cassius. They perished at the same time, forever entwined. Never before had I heard of such an event.
You murderer! My parents did nothing wrong! You have been deceived, little one. Your parents turned against their king.
If you take a look at the background, you can see they are in a forest. It is implied that the area where we wake up as Dust is this exact area where they kill each other.
You will not survive this day! I take no joy in slaughtering one as young as you, child. But you have forced my hand.
A grave injustice was done that day. Cassius murdered a defenseless Jin.
I don't know about defenseless, because he killed Cassius as well.
Yeah.
But how?
So yeah, the reason why Dust was created was because they wanted something to turn the battle against General Gaius. And according to the Elder, a being who has a soul or a being of both innocence and power is capable of, you know, doing pretty much anything, which kind of creates this parallel between Jin and Zhang, if you think about it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my drawn-out-as-fuck analysis of Innocence and Power in Dust and Elysian Tale, with relaxing tunes. Enjoy. You might be asking, how does this relate to Yin and Yang? Because they don't go too much into detail on, you know, what power and innocence really mean, but if you read a little bit into it, you might be thinking, you know, innocence stands, you know, for the light side, and power means, you know, the dark side, you know, the Jedi and Sith mentality. But the reason why I say Yin and Yang is because I think it's easy to, you know, look at innocence as, you know, everything that is positive, and power as everything that is bad. But the way I see it, and the reason why I make the connection to Yin and Yang, is because both innocence and power are both sides are positive and negative, both positives and negatives. And just like in Yin and Yang, or rather the philosophy around Yin and Yang says that you need both parts in order to be, you know, balanced and complete, and that is what Dust is supposed to be. He is a being who has obtained enlightenment and has mastered both innocence and power, and because of that he is able to change the course of the world, or affect the world. Because if we look back at the playthrough, and if we look at all the characters we have encountered so far, we can see how they all suffer from some kind of imbalance. Like all the characters, if we take all the people in Aurora Village, for example, all of these people are suffering from or at the very least, the way I see it, all these people are suffering from an imbalance of innocence. Like, they're really good people, they know what is right and wrong, and they are very nice and all that, but they need Dust to, you know, complete, you know, the different things. Like, can you do this for me? Can you do that? Can you do this? They don't have any power because they have too much innocence. And if you look at what is his name, Giovanni, the French up-nosy guy, he, for example, he's an example of someone who has too much power. In reality, he doesn't have any real authority, but he is abusing his position as an adult, and he is trying to command the children. And you can also see this imbalance in all of the antagonists, like Fuse. He lost his innocence. He lost his innocence when he was tortured, and he got too much power. Lady Tethys. I think you can argue that Lady Tethys has an imbalance of innocence, because yes, she was powerful, but in her innocence, she believed that if she removed the water from the land, that would stop Geis's campaign. But you know, as in a the end justifies the means kind of way. But she was too ignorant to really see that by doing that she was hurting a lot more people.
Wow, you really thought a lot about it.
Yeah, but this game is really Asian inspired. I mean, if you look, Dust has the you know, the cone hat, and a lot of the architecture in the villages are very Asian inspired. So I don't think it's too far-fetched to make the connection of innocence and power to Yin and Yang.
True.
Plus, it makes it more interesting, rather than just saying, you know, power is evil and innocence is good. Yeah. Because it's one of my issues about the Jedi and the Sith in the Star Wars universe. It's not necessarily bad, but if you think about it, the Jedi are essentially stuck in time. They are so they are so good, but they don't take any action. They are perfectly fine to be frozen in time, to just stay the way they are and not try to make any changes, while the Sith are trying to change so much that they end up going backwards. They are not moving forward. And you can see this same philosophy in Dust in Elysian Tale, like all these people, they have too much innocence, and they are frozen, like they don't take action, they are not moving forward, and all these people that all have an imbalance in power, they are kind of moving backwards because they are destroying rather than creating. Like it's implied that this king and General Gaius destroyed a very advanced Moonblood culture, and because it is implied that the Moonbloods created very advanced technology, that they had a very advanced civilization, and that was all destroyed because of General Gaius and his king. And that illustrates my point that rather than taking action and moving forward, they are abusing their power to destroy what is already there and moving backwards. Again, imbalance in power. And that also that also brings me back to, I think I've already mentioned this, but that brings us back to Dust, because and this also ties in well with, you know, the video game and you being the hero of the story, because you are a being who possesses both innocence and power. You are able to shape your own destiny, or, you know, take action and change the world for the better. Make sure that the world moves forward, because you could say that Dust has acquired enlightenment, even if he's not aware of it. And actually, there is actually a way to tell already at the beginning of the game that Dust is a being of balance. And do you know how?
No.
You can actually see that in the level up system.
Okay.
Because if you look at the level up system, if you remember back at the beginning of the game,
yeah.
If you remember, I put all of my skill gems in fidget and attack, but once I reached 4 skill gems in one stat, I can't go any further. So in order for me to put more skill gems into power, I need to fill up 1 vertical row in order to gain access to more slots. And that is that illustrates that Dust has acquired balance, that he can't go too far in health or attack or fidget or defense, because that would cause him to become imbalanced. He would lose his enlightenment.
Are you sure you're not created this game?
No, why?
I just think you have a lot to say, and it makes sense.
This is kind of shit I think about when I play games. I can't turn it off. And if you think this is bad, then you should see me talk about Dark Souls. You will beg me to shut the fuck up.
If you ever do a Dark Soul, you have to do it alone. I will not sit through when you play.
I'm cool with that. Dark Souls is great. And this is an old quest that we are finally completing. If you remember the village that Fuse destroyed all the way back, what's it called? Mosca asked if his girlfriend survived the attack, and yes, she did. And only now do we decide to go and get her. So she's been standing on this cliff for months. Or weeks, rather. Makes more sense.
Yeah.
Our friend Dust here, he stopped that menace in Denham.
I do really... I'm not gonna spoil it, but I do really like the aftermath after this quest.
We'll go back to Aurora.
But we're gonna save that for later.
You and me. We'll figure something out.
Will you two be alright?
I think so, Dust. Thank you for everything.
A single survivor in the whole village.
One is better than none. Come on, let's get out of here.
I just remember that I talked over the dialogue with Ginger and the Elder. Essentially, what he's telling us to do is to get to a... I don't remember the name of the area, but it's a volcanic area where they have the last bastion of the Moonbloods, and yeah, General Gaius is in the area as well, and we need to get there and try to push him back.
Yeah, it's the last level as well.
Yeah. So, we're not too far away from the ending.
So, did you do everything, like 100% completed this game?
Yep, 100%, or rather 113%.
What? How can it go to 113?
Because it can. But anyway, see you guys in the next part.
Bye.